Hi everyone, it's Caitlin with Kait's Collectibles, and today on my channel we are going to be looking at a little aspect of my collection called UFO catchers. So UFO catchers are these basically vending machine game, usually stuffed toys, animals, characters, what have you, that are fairly popular. They're the crane games in Japan, and you can get these toys by being successful at fishing them out of the machine. I don't know for sure whether or not there was any aspect of being able to walk into a store and buy them. I think a big aspect to them was that they were difficult to get a hold of because you had to be good enough at the game to get them, and then even collecting all the ones you want would be a challenge as well. Every so often they do have kind of special ones that I've seen come up for sale online here and there, but they're not something that's a huge part of my collection. In general, I really limit the sort of stuffed animals that I collect. I have a few that I really like, some that I've gotten rid of or given away over the years, and a few that I've hung on to. Most of these I'll probably downsize as well. I don't have very many, which is part of the reason they're not a major thing for me. But the first one I have is a standard Sailor Moon. Now, she does not have her tag. She was actually given to me by a friend. So I have not checked to see which season she's supposed to be from, although I am assuming either the first one or R based on the brooch. So a couple of things I like about this one. The hair is nice and soft, very felty kind of feeling otherwise. The bangs are not great on this one. As you can see, it's just kind of a weird oval as opposed to being more of the heart shape that her bangs are supposed to have. The Odango covers, her shields, are, I would assume, hot glued on. And you can see that the red is a little bit of a lined pattern to the fabric. Now, whether that's just wear from the age or not, I do not know. Her tiara, so they've got kind of a plasticky material for the tiara itself. Again, a little bit sloppily cut. The lines aren't even, which is also what leads me to think this is an earlier season item. The jewel is just more felt material. You can see if you flip her bangs back there, kind of what the back side of the material looks like. And she has got, one of the things I do like about her is that she's doesn't have her eyes open, that she's like a winking face UFO catcher. You can see her eyebrows there, and then her cute little smiling eyes and the happy expression. That I think is a little bit more uncommon in these. Earrings. I assume, oh, her other ear does actually have an earring, despite the fact that her arm is stitched or glued up high so that it kind of looks like I think she's supposed to be doing some kind of a pose, like her standard pose at the end of her transformation. Now, one thing you might notice is that the glove covers are definitely red, like the banner part. I like the way they did these little twisties on her here too. And then the bow is really more of a magenta pink. So she's got more of the color that I would say you see in, for example, the live action Sailor Moon that they used, that sort of a pink on her bow. Whereas this part is definitely just like the standard anime red. No choker. They also definitely didn't achieve, the sleeves. Her waistband they tried to do there. Then we've got the skirt, nice and felty. They always, well, not always, but they tend to have kind of like little panties, the under part of the outfit sewn on there. And then her boots are also the red. You can see that the age with this one, like it's definitely, I would never throw these in the washing machine because that'd be a great way to wreck them. But you can see that like the boot the topper part here is good on this side, but it's sort of detached or folded down on the other side. You could probably find some kind of glue to glue it up. A little bit of hot glue, but I'm not that skilled with the gun, so I'd probably leave a big mess. Her little boots almost look like Santa boots, actually. The stitching in areas is definitely, you know, a little on the sloppier side maybe. She is quite old. You can see here, there's the tag, so 1993, so that's very likely to be R. And then they've got her name, so, you know, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon A. I'm guessing maybe there was a B version. Some copyright information. The bow on the back is really big, also kind of that magenta color. The hand that's glued there. One of the things I like about these is that they have a string to hang them with, and the string in all of mine, I believe anyway, it actually runs through their head. It's not just attached to a little tab, so it's a lot more difficult to have these strings, you know, pull off or detach. In this case, this one's string is really just like a fishing wire. It's not anything fancy, it's just like a really plasticky string. So that is that one. And the next one I have is, I believe, what was the first one I ever got, which is why I still have her, because she has a little bit of a special place in my heart. And that is Super Sailor Venus. So Venus, not my favorite character, not my least favorite either. She's just, you know, Sailor Moon's my number one. But there were a lot of things I really liked about this one. She's super cute. You can see she has a really happy expression. The eyes are great. The little earrings are there as well. Same kind of hair as the other Sailor Moon, just in a lighter color. The bangs on hers are much more easy to flip back. You can see the tiara, same, maybe a little bit upgraded version of that material. It's hard to tell. The jewel, I really like that they used this prismatic sticker. Makes her a little fancier. Her choker is present with the star because it's the super version. Same with the little sleeves here with this kind of crinkly material. I really like that they have that. Same with, they used the prismatic sticker centerpiece for her center bow. And I also like that it's not just stuck on, they actually have this one little stitch right in the center of it there. She seems to be doing some kind of pose with her knee. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be, but her little shoes with the strap. As you can see, this one says 1995. I think they captured the color of her outfit very well. She has the correct yellow bow on the back and of course the long tails because this is the super version. Same thing, panties on all of them. Straps, little overlap there. And her hair in the back actually flips up if you want to make her like Super Saiyan. She kind of looks that way from the back. I like these little stitches to try and indicate, you know, the movement of her hair. The one thing I don't like about these is that they tend to pick up hair and lint very easily. They're really cute, but that's my problem with a lot of stuffies in general is I always tend to have pets. I have a cat that I've had for going on 16 years now. She's getting up there in years, so I know she doesn't have a lot of time left, unfortunately, but having a pet like that does make it difficult to keep your collection in a mint condition if they're anywhere near it. And same with, you know, I've moved a number of times in my life and you have to pack things up and put them away, and I'm definitely a lot more clean now than I was when I was younger, so that's an aspect to keeping them clean as well. Oh, that's neat. Her legs are actually stitched together there, so I guess I could, if you ever wanted to, I suppose you could probably detach that, but you'd have to be very careful. She has a gold string from the top of her head, and you'll see that it also runs through the head as well. You can see her little red bow there for her hair. Now, I always keep the tags on when I can on items like this, so that's how I know that she came from Super S. And usually on the other side, they'll show the characters that were done in that particular lineup of UFO catchers. So it looks like they basically did the main characters from the Super S season. So we've got Super Sailor Moon, Super Chibi Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter. We've got Tuxedo Mask. I think a long time ago I used to have that one as well, but sold him. And Pegasus, and I've seen that one, and it's really, really cute. That'd be, if you were just going to try and get one, I would probably go for the Pegasus one. So that is Venus, kind of my original UFO catcher. And then, of course, we come to my favorite one, which is the last one that I have. So that would be Eternal Sailor Moon. So I think I've mentioned it before, but Stars is, and probably always will be, my favorite season. There's a lot of reasons for that. Maybe I'll have to save those for a video down the road. This one is very well loved for how long I've had it. A few things that are noteworthy with her. Her hair color, of course. It's a little bit of a paler blonde than the yellow blonde that's in the first figure. Her Odango shields, they definitely need a good lint roll going over, because they pick up lint like crazy. The bangs, you can see like the center of her bangs, especially if we bring this one up for comparison. You can see that the hairstyle is way better in the Eternal version. I like that she has her little barrettes, and they're very bright white compared to the Odango covers, which I should point out as well are like they're a smooth single piece as opposed to the dual layer of the first one, which I think is part of the reason why they're a little bit duller. She's got a sort of prismatic sticker for her crescent moon center, and it's holding up, like the glue on it is holding up really well despite all the years. She has her eyebrows hiding under her bangs. Now she looks super surprised with her happy expression. Again, really like the way they did the eyes. They're basically kind of the reverse, the triangle and circle kind of shapes at the bottom here are kind of the reverse of what Venus's were over in the Super S one. Happy expression, decent job on the earrings. And they focused really more on pink instead of red for this particular doll. So she has like the pink puffs for her sleeves, but then all the red accessories are also pink. So we've got pink for her gloves. They definitely didn't make the gloves, 100% accurate. I think with the Stars version of her gloves, that would be really difficult because they come basically almost all the way up her arm. They pretty much leave, 2 inches worth of space between where her puff shoulder ends and her glove begins. And then there's another little red accent detail at her wrist. So that's, I think, what they're imitating with this, but hard to say. But she's got both of those gloves there. Then they used that same prismatic sticker for her center brooch, which is the heart shape. They didn't bother trying to do the little crescent moon that comes at the bottom of it. Now, unlike Venus, this one is not stitched, and you can see it is peeling a bit. So that's something that if it were to come off, I would definitely have to work on replacing. No attempt at her choker. You can see a little stitch there. We've got the wing part around for her bow. Then the same little prismatic crescent moon that goes on her waistband. We've got the 3 layers of skirt, which I think were done quite well. Little boy shorts. And then the boots. And they do have the little crescent moons on them. So that's kind of nice. You can see with her tag here, she says 1996. So yeah, that would probably make the other one our Sailor Moon. The back, this is one of the things I like about her too. So we've got her Fuku, and she's got the yellow, which is good. And then they've got the ribbon portion coming off the back of her, as well as carrying the skirt around and the boots. And then the wings. The wings for Eternal Sailor Moon are one of the more kind of whimsical parts of that costume. And so she has the same kind of material really that they used for Venus's little super Fuku sleeves. They've got that for the wings here. And I should really try and maybe steam these a little bit to get them to cooperate. They've kind of always been like this, where they curl and they fold and they bend. It's not a great material in terms of keeping its shape perfectly, but they're so shiny and reflective, and they're really pretty against the figure. Like they totally suit this kind of a toy. You know, if you can get them sticking out, they look really good. And with her, the string in this one again goes through the top of her head, and this one's like a bright orange string. So I would say the string on Venus is probably the nicest one in terms of looks, because it's got that kind of gold shimmer to it. But they're all very durable and they've held up really well. She still has her tag as well. So as you can see, she's from Stars. And the characters in this line, this would be where the outers get a little bit of love. So you can see there was Eternal Sailor Moon, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and Saturn. And this, of course, is Super Fuku Saturn. So this one's definitely my favorite because Eternal Sailor Moon's my favorite version of her, as well as Stars being my favorite season. And it was a very cute one. You can see there's a lot of variety in terms of how they can look. The one on the left, the Venus one, really has more of a attempting to kind of look like the anime character. It's got a little height. She looks a little bit like a teenager. The original Sailor Moon one, she really does look a little bit more maybe like a junior high school student. She's got that kind of, again, like height and proportions. She looks a little more, I guess, pseudo-realistic. Whereas Eternal Sailor Moon is definitely more of the plush, teddy bearish, squat kind of look. If you're familiar with the stuffed versions of the characters that came out not that long ago, I think maybe GE Animation did a line of them, but don't quote me 100% on that. I'll have to double check that. Anyway, Eternal Sailor Moon looks a lot more like the way those ones looked. Definitely that super deformed look to the body and the shape and everything, but I think it really works well for her. And for a character like Eternal Sailor Moon, where there's a lot going on in that costume and a lot of layers to try and tackle, I think they did a good job with it. So those are my UFO catchers. Not a main part of my collection, but definitely a part that I value, although I am probably going to, in the near future, downsize some of these. That's kind of the funny thing about a collection, is you figure out what parts are your favorite, what works, what doesn't, what you want to keep, what you don't, and then you can resell things or pass them on to people who will love them more than you, pass on your information, all that kind of stuff. Collections have a nasty way of growing unmanageable if you're not careful with them, so that's one of the things I've been really keenly aware of with my Sailor Moon collection over time here. So, of course, if you like collecting the UFO catchers, please let me know. Let me know which one is your favorite. Maybe there's one I wasn't even aware of, or a unique character in some way. You can always leave me other comments down below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more updates in my collection. You can also find me on Twitter at Kait Collectible. Thanks.